gotten really, really into the Amazing Digital Circus, as most of the internet has.
Hello, everyone. Are you ready for your next adventure?
At this point, there's only the 2 episodes.
Yes.
And I became particularly obsessed with a character that is only in the 2nd episode so far.
You and the internet.
Yeah. And because he's a crocodile, goes down under, I decided, Crocodile Dundee, this would be funny to base this on. I stick with this for like very, very little amount of time. I also tried to give him actual human proportions and then realized that wasn't going to work, and I did the same thing to Pomni. Pomni is the jester who is one of the main characters of the show.
You're like, I know what they look like, I'll look at people, and then they are not shaped like people.
Yeah. So you'll see me futz with that. And at first we're like, okay, I'll put Jax the rabbit in the background, the other 2 crocodiles in the background.
See, Jax is my favorite.
Gummigoo down under the map. Jax is your favorite, and I understand. He's got big Bugs Bunny chaos energy. He's a fun character.
He's a troublemaker.
I might need to do a separate portrait of him sometime. He might deserve his own little love.
Yeah.
But this one is just Pomni and Gummigoo. I had so much trouble with their proportions. It was hard. And I didn't understand, and I kept messing with it and getting frustrated with it. And you can see me redo this so many times. And his pose is going to change, like so much changes. The hat, I don't understand hats.
Hats are hard.
Hats are hard.
They're
Legs.
circles, they're cylinders.
So then I stopped recording and forgot to press record again. So here's the finish line art.
Oh, the curse of online artistry.
And I said the background was just going to be the Candy Land, the Candy Kingdom, which is where this episode takes place. And it's mostly pink, and I decided to just keep it as simple as possible so that I can put more detail on them and have it be, like, more focus on them. I was going to do a black void seeping in, and that never comes back. Hope you didn't like it.
I think it would have overwhelmed the piece to have that like shimmery black void.
Yeah. And Gummigoo is really more of like an orange and a green, but I went with a yellow for a number of reasons. One of which that she's also got some yellow in her. And also just, I'm looking at the images off to the right on my second screen and just kind of deciding what colors works for the piece I'm going with. I'm not actually like color picking anything, which is not normally how I do this kind of thing. But I had a vision in my mind, and then I had a different vision in my mind that was completely different.
Typically, your horrible vision gives you the face like Pomni there. I must try it.
I identify very strongly with Pomni. Pomni just doesn't want to be there anywhere. And the way I drew this, he's looking at something. They're both looking at something off in the distance, and she understands it's a problem, and he does not. So, sound off in the comments what you think they're looking at.
Problem.
A problem. And the one wrist circle thing with the red glove will change color later. There are a lot of things that change after the fact. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just winging it, as always.
We're all just winging it. On our way through this life.
Trying to figure out her skin tone was rough, because it's not white, but it's really pale. So
That's a good cartoon pink.
yeah. And that too. I in my brain it's like, oh, he's just half yellow, half, but he's not. It's just his top half of his head and his one arm is this orangey yellow.
Yeah.
And then just making more candy. That was supposed to be like a pile of melted marshmallows next to his foot, and that does not read. But, you know, I did what I needed
Well,
to.
you're working on the background now, so...
Yeah. It doesn't get better. I don't fix the pile. Just letting you know. That just stays.
I don't fix it.
No. It just stays the way it is.
Well, I like that. I like the fade there.
Thank you. Give it a little bit of dimension.
Yeah.
Give them a shadow. I put too much shadow because that lollipop thing is supposed to be forward. So that...
Maybe he made something explode to, like, reopen the rift between dimensions since he's seen between worlds.
Maybe.
And that's why their shadow is so dark.
Because there's just fire in front of them.
There's just a nuke going off. It's like, you see, Pomni? I'm gonna burn the veils away.
There's so much just... Every character goes through some kind of existential crisis at some point or another, and that fills me with joy. Because I feel like more cartoons should have that.
More existential dread in your cartoons.
Well, like, we had plenty in the kid cartoons when we were kids.
Yeah. We'd force kids to watch the judge dip a tune into paint thinner.
Yeah, and I remembered it being so much more horrifying than it actually was. Because my brain made it worse, because it was horrific.
You've really just got to scar the children.
I think it builds character. Unironically, I like...
Thanks, Calvin's dad.
I just think...
I think media is a safe way to be scared and uncomfortable.
Yes. Yes. I think that a lot of...
I don't want them to not know how to deal with those emotions. I'd rather have them like do it in a cartoon than have something happen in real life. Then if something does happen in real life, they're like, oh, I know what this is. This is the trauma happening.
Also, there is something to be said for, like, cartoons being a little too all ages forever. Because there should be a difference between a cartoon that, like, a older teen into, like, you know, college age versus, like, a preteen versus a toddler. And I feel like sometimes cartoons are trying to hit too many things at once. You get kids' cartoons that are really adult and gross, and you get kids' cartoons that are really for, like, young kids, but they're said to be for everybody. And I feel like there needs to be more specific audiences, again.
Well, in America, cartoons have always fought to get out of the children's space. Like,
yeah.
you have cartoons, and then you have adult cartoons. If you say cartoons, people are going to assume you mean for kids.
But if you say adult cartoon, people assume porn.
Depending. I think it more leans like the Rick and Morty sort of thing now.
Yeah. Well, like when I say I do adult graphic novels, people assume a lot of things, and sometimes they're right, and sometimes they're very wrong.
Yeah.
In any case...
Look at all them colors.
And this is an indie cartoon, and I love that there's a rise of indie cartoons.
Yeah, a lot of the barriers are stripping away, and people are doing it themselves, since
right.
like the corporations are just looking to make Marvel movies over and over and over.
Yeah, it's boring. Play with the sky
new
forever.
Things, new ideas.
Yeah.
Snap your fingers and make new things appear.
So, if only. So this is my piece. This is what I spent too much time on.
Look what you did.
Yeah.
Look what you did.
Yeah.
It looks magnificent.
Thank you. Gummigoo and Pomni. Everyone should see this show.
Who's your favorite Digital Circus character? Watch the 2 episodes, come back, and leave a comment.
Maybe there'll be a third by this point, but probably not. This was 6 months in between, because again, small studio.
2 episodes and a song. Go watch them.
Yeah. Rock on. Rock on.
Rock on.
Rock on.